Welcome to the Quality and Patient Safety Competency Navigator. The Navigator has been designed as an interactive PDF with e-learning features to make it as accessible and user-friendly as possible. The first few pages of the Navigator contains reader information, a table of contents, a foreword from the HSE's National Clinical Lead for Quality and Patient Safety, and a message from the HSE's Chief Clinical Officer. In keeping with accessibility guidelines, if you would prefer not to read the text, you can select Play Video and play a video instead. As this is a PDF document, you can use the page up and page down keys on your keyboard, or alternatively, you can select the previous and next buttons on the bottom of your screen to navigate through the document. As part of the introduction to the document, a number of professional bodies and offices who supported the development of the Competency Navigator are acknowledged here. The introduction to the Navigator explains exactly what the Navigator is, who can use it, and how it can be used. There's also reference to the QPS Prospectus of Education and Learning Programs, which is a companion document to the Navigator. Throughout the document, we have provided live hyperlinks. For example, here is one that will take you directly to the prospectus, and this will ensure that wherever possible, you will always be signposted to the most up-to-date version of a resource. There's also a glossary of common quality and patient safety terms that are referenced throughout the Navigator. And if we select the button on the top right, it will bring us directly to that glossary. So here you can see the first page of an 8-page glossary, and you'll notice that there's a button on the top right of the page that will bring you back to where you were. So now we are ready to start using the document. There's a huge amount of information available in the Navigator. However, you can dip in and out of it following these 4 simple steps. First of all, at step 1, you select the role category that best describes you, and we'll come to the options available to you in a moment. At step 2, you select the topic you want to explore. You might be interested in all 6 topics, or maybe there's just one particular area you want to focus on. Once you do that, step 3 gives you an opportunity to review the competencies related to the role and topic you've selected, and you can identify the competencies that you feel you need to learn more about. And finally, at step 4, you can review the suggested ways that you can develop that competence and record it in a development plan. Many of you will already have development plans that you use for your own CPD or professional competence record, or perhaps part of a performance review or achievement process. But if you don't, there's an option to download an MS Word template which you can complete and bring to any development discussions you might have with your line manager. So let's start at step 1. Here you will have 6 categories to choose from, and we suggest you pick the one that best describes the role you are in right now. You might see yourself in a number of categories. For example, you might be a Quality and Patient Safety Manager, and you see yourself in the QPS Roles and Champions category. But you're also a team leader, so you might want to look at that one too. Or perhaps you're very experienced in quality and patient safety and want to look at the final category, which we call On the Path to Mastery. Or perhaps you're a student or very new to quality and patient safety, and if so, the Everyone Working in Healthcare category is for you. There is nothing stopping you dipping in and out of each of these, but we would say that a good place to start is with the Everyone category and work from there. We have many patients and patient partners who work with us to improve quality and patient safety, and you'll see a category for them here. It's also important to note at this point that while the term patient is used throughout, this also relates to service users and people who use or get support from health services, and that's a definition agreed with our patient partners during the development of this navigator. So for demonstration purposes, let's start with the Everyone category. So now we are at the Everyone category, and you'll see a brief description of who this category relates to. So let's select the Next button to continue. We are now at step 2, where you can select the topic you'd like to explore. So for this demonstration, let's pick Safety, Risk and Incident Management. This brings us to a page which will explain what is meant by safety, risk and incident management. Again, rather than reading a whole paragraph on this topic, we have a video recording, in this case led by the lead clinical safety and risk manager from St. James's Hospital. If you don't want to watch the video, you can select the page icon to bring you to a written definition. If you choose to read the written definition, you'll notice that there's a button on the top right-hand corner that, once selected, will bring you back to where you were. At any point, if you want to return to the role category options, you can select the Return to Categories button on the left-hand side. Or if you want to go back and select a different topic, you can select the button on the top right, which will bring you back to the competency wheel. But for now, let's select Next to continue. Now we're at step 3 in the process, where you can review the list of competency statements associated with this topic. You'll also see a box to the right, which articulates what competent behaviour would look like in practice. So read each statement and select the ones that you feel you're not fully competent in and would like to develop or learn more about. Because this is a PDF document, you can copy and paste text into another document if you wish, or you can save this document by selecting File, Save As in the top left of the PDF, and your selected statements will be retained. Once you've identified areas you need to develop in, you can then select Next to go to the next page. We are now at step 4. And here we have signposted a number of ways in which you can learn while you work. We've also listed a number of key policies, procedures or guidelines that you could reference, and for ease of access, they are all hyperlinked for you. On the right, you can see a list of learning programs that you could complete, and for anyone who wants to do a deeper dive into the topic, there are some further learning suggestions for you to consider. And again, you can transfer the relevant ones into your development plan for further discussion with your line manager. So once you've finished looking at this topic, you can return to the competency wheel by selecting the button on the bottom. We are now back at the competency wheel, where you can select another topic to explore, or by selecting the button to the left, you can return to the role categories and explore a different role. If you navigate to the end of the document, you'll see a list of people who were involved in the design and development of the QPS Competency Navigator. And lastly, we want the QPS Competency Navigator to be a dynamic document that remains current and relevant. We've built in a mechanism whereby if you know of learning opportunities or resources that we haven't captured, or if there's something that could be improved, please send us your feedback via this survey link, and we will endeavour to include it in the next version of the document. The QPS Competency Navigator was developed by National Quality and Patient Safety with the support of many others, and we hope you find it useful. You can contact us at any time at nqps@hsc.ie or by visiting our website www.hsc.ie/NQPS.